welcome to the channel. My name's Fola, and I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about just some things that have been showing up lately and to pull some cards for those of you who are interested. So if you would like a card pull, you feel free to let me know if you would like either the Sacred Symbols deck, maybe leave me your favorite symbol in the comments section, or if you would like a card pulled from this Dragon Oracle deck. These are my kids' cards, so she's gonna be like, Mom. But yeah, so whichever you like, this is just a little bit of guidance or support, some intuitive insight for your day, for your week, whatever you might be going through. And I'm just like sitting in this place lately, really tapping into, okay, what is it that I am creating or being in this world? And, as I sit here this morning, enjoying this fireplace that's on, a cup of coffee, and watching people coming and going from their day, I guess, going to work, wherever it is, dropping kids off at school. And I was feeling a bit of this like, oh, like I should be doing something. And I don't know if you've ever felt that feeling. I'm sure you have. For me personally, it's a little bit of like an uncomfortable feeling. It's this like anticipation, this excitement of like potentiality, and yet there's nowhere for it really to go, is what it feels like. The egoic mind, for me, it starts to tell stories to myself about like what that needs to look like, right? And I think for a really long time what I was doing then was creating almost like the need to be or act or experience life or create things just out of the necessity of having to like move that energy, which can be great sometimes, right? Sometimes that can be helpful. Sometimes not so much. It's like, what's the underlying reason for why we are creating things, sharing, or feeling the call to do a particular type of work or support with or for people? And so I went into like a meditation this morning on the Hierophant card. So the Hierophant is one of the keys of the major arcana of the tarot. In our Exploring the Tarot Keys series that we've been going through for the past, month and a half now, this was the last week's card. And so part of this practice is to just connect with the card, to connect with the symbols. And I follow the meditation this morning on Insight Timer, actually. I can't recall who the meditation teacher was. I've never done one of their meditations before. But it was very eye-opening for me to be in the sacred temple that I found myself in like my mind's eye, in that sort of astral realm, and connect with that high priest or hierophant that showed up. And the messages that came through were this reminder that my role, and I believe this of everyone, to be honest, well, maybe not everyone, because I like the idea of like the whole NPC, in the gaming world, in this world, this experience of reality really is very much like a game. There are main characters, there are side quests, there are like main quests, there are NPCs or non-player characters, and I think for many people right now, they might be finding themselves, if you're watching this, you're probably in the place of like more conscious awareness than a lot of people around you. And it's not meant to be a judgment on others, it's just people's experiences. Hi, Davud. Yeah, salam. Yeah, if you'd like a card pulled, you can let me know. I have 2 decks. Let me know which symbol or which deck you would like. And anyways, so this realization through this meditation this morning of like, wow, it's okay. It's okay to sometimes feel like we're not sure what we're doing or where we're going, because actuality, and if you haven't seen my other video, it came out like a few weeks back. It's called Your Job is Simply to Evolve. And I believe that that's a part of all of our human experiences, to simply evolve, to be a part of this conscious evolution of humanity. And each of us do that in our own unique way. For some, it's working a particular type of job. Maybe it's creating certain projects and creating shifts in humanity's experience of this world. For others, it's going through their own internal process, even like of a mental health journey, of a physical health journey, whatever that might be. Like, we all are having our personal experiences, and each of those are valid because it's going to help support and evolve all of humanity. I don't actually speak Arabic. I can kind of read what you're writing. Yeah, I will pull you one of these cards because you left a hand symbol. Dawood, if I'm saying your name correctly. Sorry. Yeah, I can kind of read Arabic, but I don't know what you're saying. Does that make sense? Anyways. So whatever it is that we might be going through in our life, Dawood, I'll pick you a card here. You can take what you will of this. If anyone else watching would like a card, you can let me know in the comments. So Dawood, you have the soulmate card. For some people, their whole experience in this life is simply to make that love connection. And the love connection, not even with another person. Because what's the concept of a soulmate? The soulmate is the person who you feel is like a reflection of you. That's interesting because if you look into a mirror, right? If you look into the mirror of your own image in the mirror, what happens? You hold up your left hand and it looks like the person across in the reflection's holding up their right hand, right? And so in reflection of another soul, of another human being, of another person's experience, we're going to oftentimes see opposites. And I think this is a huge part of like this duality or polarity that we see and have the opportunity to witness in this current physical reality. I see people driving by in vehicles that are completely like luxurious. And then I see someone riding by on a bike carrying all their belongings because maybe they're experiencing homelessness. There's like this dualness that exists. And yet when we have the dualness, in this image, we have both the card that's upright, the heart, and we have this mirror opposite. But together they make this beautiful image. And it's funny, during my meditation this morning, I was specifically thinking about the image on the cover of my new book that's coming out this Friday, and it's the 6-rayed star. And what had come through while I was working on that book, when I was creating some of the illustrations, I guess, if we're going to call it that, for it, that was one that came through, was how there's both the upward facing triangle, the triangle of spirit, of fire, and the downward facing triangle, the triangle of water, the material plane, the spirit triangle of matter. It's like fire and water mixed together to create spirit. And so same thing here. And so Dawood, and whether or not this resonates for you, maybe there's something here calling for you to really note the reflections of yourself in other people right now. And I think when we do that, when you start to tap into that more, you're going to start to feel this soulmate connection, this like unconditional love for all of humanity, which is also, I think, really great because then when it comes to connecting with like a romantic partner, an intimate love connection, like this becomes, I want to say, easier. It kind of takes the forefront. So whatever that might mean for you. We have number 49. So if we were to reduce 49, we'd get 13. We'd get it down to 4. Like 1 plus 3 is 4, which is the sphere of chesed. That is the sphere of mercy, the Jupiterian, like, to me, unconditional love. And the divine name for that sphere, if I'm not mistaken, is actually El. Aleph Lamed, we could say, however you want to identify that. That's like in the Hebrew. Love. again. So Dawood, however love wants to show up in your life, be open to that. So anyways, I see people coming on and off. If you would like a card pulled, you can let me know. I have 2 decks. We have the Sacred Symbols deck, and there's the Dragon Oracle deck. So, and if you don't have a particular choice, just say I'd like a card. Choose for me. But yeah, this concept I was sharing initially about the energy of just your job being to contribute to humanity's and your own evolution. And when I got out of that meditation this morning, I just felt like this sense of peace and almost a relief, but more from the place of like, oh, it's okay that I sometimes feel this feeling of not really knowing or being sure what it is I meant to do in that particular day or in general, because it is so open. I guess it's open, it's expansive. There's no container on what that's going to look like. And I think many people right now, you may or may not be resonating with this statement, but for many of you right now, it's like stepping away from the old way of like working really hard, maybe trying to like make things happen or work for you, feeling like this pressure to have to perform in a particular way, whatever it might be. And now it's like we get to create something new. That was like an old story, and I think that's the story that's been existing, the way of life that's been existing for like millennia, really, if we think about it. But it's like, what if this is like that period of time that things are really shifting? What if this is like the new way? And yesterday when we went for a walk, my partner and I, we were talking, and we were talking kind of about like the Me Too movement and all the stuff that's happening. There's different like things coming out of whatever people's, you hear things in the news about, well, I don't really want to listen to the news, I guess, so I can't say, but I feel like this is the stuff that pops up at least on the YouTube feed for me, where it's like these sort of recent news related events that are like Me Too movement or whatever, the inequalities, the political such and such. And I was just like reflecting with my partner about how the past few years we've had a major shift in humanity's perception of the world and about life. And it really came with the pandemic. Like prior to the pandemic, really, I knew about things like proper pronouns or the pronouns that people might use. And I mean, obviously, racial inequalities, gender inequalities, classism, but not to the same degree that I would say it has shown up now. And it was because of our, 2 year, depending, I guess, on where your situation was, where you were living in the world, how much like isolation and quiet time we had to sort of like reflect. It's like we just really like constricted into ourselves as a society, as humans, so that then these new ideas, we had the Black Lives Matter movement come out like in full force. I think that stuff was already existing, but like the conversations around like the Me Too movement, all this stuff started to like take the forefront. And look where we are now. I was like, literally, I'm like, wow, like without the pandemic, I don't think we would have had that same degree of shifting in our consciousness. And so we're definitely in this new place now, I'd say we're definitely in this new place, and we get to continue to create what it is that we want in this world. So how is it that you wish to show up? And I'm just going to pull this card because that feels appropriate. Air and Fire Dragon expands your creative energies. It's funny how I mentioned like fire and water, but so when we mix fire and water, you can get heated water, a boiling, right? It's almost like an alchemical piece, but air and fire when you add air to a flame, it like really like opens it, right? Good morning, Deb. If you'd like a card pulled, you can let me know. I have a dragon deck and I have a symbols deck, so whichever one you'd like. This card says, harness your creativity, excitement and enthusiasm. Communicate your passion. So where, kind of in line with what I was talking about, us living our lives and doing the things we feel called. And that was partly why I came on here, It's like I feel more and more I'm in this position in my life at this point where I'm just meant to kind of like share things with people, primarily from like a spiritual sort of practical sense and also from the like deeper ritualistic sense. That's why we're doing this exploration of the tarot. This is why I teach about the tree of life and the path working within like Kabbalah. It's why I wrote that book that's coming out on Friday about the Shem HaMephorash, or the 72 names of God, how we can tap into that. Like I feel so much moving through, Okay, Deb, will pull you a card. Hi, Zemi. Yeah, if you'd like a card pulled too, you can let me know. But it's like that, from that place, we have the passion, we have the desire to create the things we feel called. And it doesn't need to be anything major. I literally am just sitting here with the fireplace on, having coffee. I was journaling. I have some things that I need to do today. There's going to be the next live. We're going to be diving into the Lovers card today. I think it's at 2:00 Mountain Standard Time. So if you're interested in joining in again then, maybe you want to go subscribe here and tune into that call. But I just kind of feel like I'm meant to just come on, share, be in the creative passion, the things that light me up at any moment. And the same goes for you, beautiful humans. Okay, Deb. The Omega Dragon. Ooh, that's fun. The Cosmic Egg, it looks like. Harnesses the divine feminine power of creation. It says intention, hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. What I'm seeing with this card is like the word that's coming through specifically is from like the Toltec tradition that I've kind of explored a little bit, and that concept of the Hunab Ku. It's like the place where all of existence, at least humans, were birthed in like the cosmos. There's some like shamanic journeys we would do to connect to that space. And I can see it here in sort of the womb of the dragon. I see it almost like that's literally a cosmic egg, but it's also inside of her. And it's the spiraling cosmic energy of creation. Everything, it's like, does the energy go to, or does it come out of, right? It's like, it's both. It's really both. And so it's even represented in the tail of the dragon. You can see how the tail here is like spiraling as well. So there's something about that symbol of the spiral for you, Deb, that might be worth meditating on, connecting with. Alpha and Omega is like the phrase. I'm sure maybe you're aware of that phrase from like kind of like the Christian perspective. Alpha being the beginning, Omega being like the end. Everything that exists that comes from the beginning point of birth also ends in that same place. So birth and death are one and the same. Whatever that might be for you. I was really seeing this as like a red Martian energy, so Mars, which is interesting that we'd have like the white energy of the crown of Keter with a bit of the black Binah inside, birthing right underneath the next sphere on the tree. We'd have Keter at the top, we'd have Binah on the right, and then we would have Gebura, which is the Mars energy, the severity. And this whole right side would be considered that, if you're looking at the tree, that would be the left column, but it's the pillar of severity, right? You guys, I like to say the same thing over and over again, I feel, but that's okay. It's like, this is how we learn. This is how we connect to the ideas, is simply through repetition. If you were to see me like, and maybe this is for you, Deb, but if like literally, if you were to see me or hear me trying to explain or talk about the things that I talk about now, even just like 2 years ago, completely different level of understanding. And that's what Bina is, that black sphere of the mother. It's understanding. It takes time to get to that place. And we're going to constantly be growing. There is no actual end of it. So it's funny you get this Omega dragon harnessing the divine feminine power of creation. So intention, hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. What is it you want to bring into this is for you, Deb. Did I say Deborah? I might have said Deborah because that's your name. But anyway, when you pointed near the shoulder, oh, interesting. Oh, I see. Geburah, Geburah is the name of the sphere. It's the red sphere. I'm just seeing Mars here. That's why, and that's the sphere of Mars. It's a sphere also of like the warrior king, the king going out into battle to claim the territory, you know? You might be interested to come today. We're going to be talking about the Lover's card. There's a bit of a tie to that because of the masculine energy and that duality of the card. But anyways, I won't say much more about that. So wherever it is that you're going, whatever it is you're feeling like creating, tapping into the concept of the spiral, Deborah, connecting to what it means to trust the things that you're learning are going to continue to expand and evolve as you continue on, but hold the intention of what is it that you want? Maybe you want to learn something or you're feeling drawn towards a particular theme or area in your life. Just hold the vision because it's there. It's like, like there's things in my life right now that I would say I'm experiencing at like a third eye vision kind of aspect, or like an inner body knowing. It's just like, oh, like that feels like that's real. Or, if certain experiences I'm having and I can see myself in the future is how I would identify it. I don't get hung up on like, oh my gosh, how is that going to happen? It's just like trusting whenever those experiences happen and I'm feeling it or seeing it, I allow myself to like bring that energy in and just trust whatever the reason is. It feels good is usually how I know. Whatever it needs to be, there's no attachment to the outcome. So I think that's an important part. Anyways, okay, I think that's all I have to say. So if anyone else would like a card, you can let me know. I got these 2 decks here. Oh, that's funny, you guys. I literally just like half the deck. Like I went like this and went like this, and that other card was there, the one that we pulled initially. God. Okay, Zemi, do you have a preference of the deck? Dragon deck, Sacred Symbols deck? You can let me know. You're welcome, Deborah. Yeah. Dragons. Okay. That's probably why I'm just shuffling these. You'll have to thank my kid because these are her cards. If she knew I was doing this, she'd probably be like, "What are you doing?" And a little bit to share about this. Maybe this is a message for you, Zemi. It's like this deck actually I got used online. My kid, we had gone to one of the bookstores here, like a metaphysical shop, and she saw this particular deck a while back, and she's like, I really want that deck, and I'm like, well, we're not here to buy ourselves things. I'm trying to instill, if you have an intention to go into a store to buy a gift for or something, it's like, we don't have to buy something for ourselves every time. Not that that's a bad thing. But I kind of said, okay, well, we'll see what happens. Anyways, like, I feel like a long time later, maybe like a couple months later, I was just on like Marketplace and I saw someone posted about this deck. And I was like, oh my gosh. So anyways, got it. And it worked out perfectly. The girl who sold it, she like had made some crystal bracelets. She put one in there just as like a extra offering, I guess. And yeah, it was like the cards were way cheaper. They're used. So to me, that means they've got like a different energy. And yeah, I feel like it was a beautiful gift. Anyways, I'm just feel like I'm supposed to say that for you, Zemi, maybe because it's like sometimes we see the things we want or have a desire for, or something that we're like curious about, like bringing into our life, but we're not sure how it's going to come. And we think, oh, like it costs XYZ, or that only happens to this type of person, or whatever. It's like, trust that it's going to find its way to you no matter what. And we have the Earth and Fire Dragon here for you. That's cool. I haven't really worked with these cards, you guys, so bear with me. But it says, works with you to clear the fifth dimensional ley lines. Interesting. It's time for service. When you give, you receive. Yeah, that's very fitting. I feel like so like this dragon is walking around dragging its like fiery tail and leaving this wake of like of alchemy and transformation behind it, which can be perceived as destructive by some people, you know, like, and this is not at all to downplay the loss of life, the loss of people's property, the damage of people's properties and belongings. Like here in Alberta, in Jasper this summer, we had really horrible forest fires. And I don't know the cause of those forest fires. My understanding is it was kind of like because of overgrowth and all this stuff that maybe could have been avoided. I don't know. Could it have been avoided? Because I actually do think when the forest or nature decides to do something to cleanse itself, it's going to do it. And I feel like the same thing, you know, people will perceive that burning away the alchemy of the shit into gold as a negative experience, but it's like, it's actually for the betterment. It kind of goes back to what I was saying about the pandemic, right? We had this experience of being completely shut out from each other so that we could have this evolution of our consciousness, this new way of seeing the world, of perceiving people's experiences, of coming into our own healing of like traumas or life stories and past experiences we might have had. So this Earth and Fire Dragon, Zemi, is like for you to tap into, where is it that you're in, like leaving a wake? You know, like when a boat goes on the water and it's like the waves come out, it's like that ripples through and moves. And it says there, it's time for service. When you give, you receive. So, you know, if you missed the first part, I was talking about the experience this morning. Hi, Viano. Hey, I finally got alive. Nice. Yeah, if you'd like a card pull, let me know. I was saying earlier how I woke up this morning feeling this sense of like, oh my God, I should be doing something. You know, if you all don't know, I like closed down the Deep Mind Squared business. Things were working really well. And then all of a sudden this year, it just started to go like, mwah. And I was like, oh. But I think too, it's like my heart was not in it the same way. Like the things I thought I was creating, it just was starting to like vanish. New passions and this new direction was taking place. And so I decided to like let it go and evolve it into something else that I was like, well, I don't really know what it is, what it's evolving into. But all I know is like this morning when I woke up, I felt a bit of that, like, oh, like before I had a bit more, almost like more motivation, more drive, but it comes down to more clarity of what I was going to create. You know, I would host workshops. I would teach Reiki. I would like have people come for sessions, all this stuff that seemed very like tangible. This morning I felt like, well, I don't have that in the same capacity. I've like made it so that I'm not really seeing people in person anymore. All my sessions have kind of been condensed into pretty much just one, the soul alchemy session. It's like everything's completely like whoop, and yet there's still this like vagueness. But I feel for you, Zemi, it's like this card is really telling you to show up however. And this fifth dimension, the fifth dimensional ley lines, you're like traveling beyond the tangible world, beyond this physical experience. It's probably going to make no sense. And I can't remember that guy's name, but there's a video. And I like what he said. He's like, if you feel like you're on your path and then all of a sudden it becomes like you can't see where the path is, he's like, that means you're on the right path. So like keep going, keep following the nudges and feel into the feelings that are showing up. Oh, I see there's comments here. Life is pretty messy at the moment in terms of I'm holding onto a lot of stuff that I can't let go of yet, but I've been trying the last few months bit by bit. Trusting spirit, Rihanna says. Yeah. We'll get you a card after, yeah. I hear that, Zemi, like, it does feel sometimes like there's so much. And so this dragon may support you with grounding and transmuting that extra stuff that you've been letting yourself hold on to, I want to say. And it's okay. Like the first step, I think, in like the forgiveness process is the forgiveness of self. And that might look like for you, like, okay, it's okay that maybe I'm still holding on to this. Like giving yourself permission to still, like there's no perfection state that we're going to reach. And it's funny, as soon as, for me this morning, it was as soon as I just realized, okay, I don't really have anything except for the things that I actually have in my calendar planned. It's like, and there doesn't have to be, like, and that's okay, and it's like, and this feeling of like, oh, something going off, like this shouldn't be happening. It's like, it's okay that I'm feeling that, and I'm just going to be with it. And then from there, it like shifted into this new perception. And I'm not saying just receive and allow so that it changes. It's just more like, honestly, just let it be. That's the shadow. So whatever that means for you, you can call him this dragon. It's funny how you have the spiral symbol there too, by the way. Maybe the spiral can be supportive. And just trust that you're making an impact day by day, just by you being a human evolving for humanity. Okay? Those ripples will make a difference. Okay, Viano, if you'd like a card, you said yes. Let me know which deck you'd like. We have the Dragon deck, and there's also this Sacred Symbols deck. Zemi says, I'm in Ireland, so that helps. This place is full of spirals. Ooh. Yeah, like you go sit in one or do something. Those are like, oh, that's cool. That's interesting. I've never been to Ireland. I wonder what that looks like in terms of... yeah, and those would be like ancient, I feel like, like really tapped in. They probably are connected to those ley lines in the physical earth and in the interdimensional earth. Anyways, oh, hi, Tahira. Hello. Oh, long time. I'm glad you're here. Oh, Cork. Oh, yeah, cool. Okay. Ooh, yeah, okay, I'll make note of that. I'm like, I'd love to go to Glastonbury. I know that's not in Ireland, but that's been in my mind. Like, ooh. Okay, Viano, Eye of Horus symbol. And anyone else watching, if you'd like cards pulled, please let me know. The Eye of Horus symbol, because I have the tattoo on my hand. Deja vu. Weird. Okay. Oh, there's so many places to go, you guys. Okay, Viano, Leon card. That's why I'm hearing Leon, and I'm like thinking of like the lion energy, like Leo, that kind of fiery energy. Oh my God. Okay, well, I don't know what you all are tapping into today, but we're like definitely birthing something. This is the third spiral that's been pulled or shown up. I gotta go, but thank you. Yes, you're welcome, Zemi. Thanks for being here. Blessings. Ooh, Tahira. Okay, we'll pull you a card too. Oh, you're a Leo. Okay. Oh, interesting. Oh, funny. Okay, it's interesting. I would just like I don't really know why that just happened, but as I like quickly looked, I like saw all these like sparkles around this. So usually when I see like sparkles in people's energy, I don't usually see energy, but sometimes I'll see like these like they're like little doo. And what that is, those are like ancestors, is what I've learned. Whether they're like goldy sparkles, sometimes they can be like black dark sparkles, however that works. Like they're just like, yeah, I can't explain that. But what I'm seeing here for you, Viano, is something really tied into an ancestral connection. What might actually be really helpful, an interesting technique or practice would be to draw this spiral. You can either start at your navel or belly button and use, this might seem weird to some of you, but you could use like your moon time blood or honey or whatever other ointment or something that you can make. You could draw it. I'm seeing red though, more specifically, and I think just because of the ancestral like blood lineage connection. But literally starting either at your navel, I would say start at your navel actually, and move out in a spiral. You know, like sometimes you might see that with like pregnant women getting their pictures taken of like the maternity pictures or whatever, and they've got like something like belly art, right, on on their stomach and on their womb space. But I'm seeing this kind of like doing this around your belly and really intentionally like drawing it out and like calling upon your ancestral line to basically like bless you with the growth that you're going through, your like shift in life. I feel like there's a lot of like, again, I said the Leo thing, I feel like there's a lot of like fire, like potentiality sparking for you right now. Oh yeah, Tahira. My culture has ceremonies that we draw that with blood or red. Oh, okay. What's your, oh, if you don't have to share your culture if you don't want to, but I'm just curious what that is. Yeah, okay, well, whatever that is, you know, we're coming to the new moon on Friday, I believe it is, at least here. Um, this is probably, you know, a really great practice to do on like any full moon, new moon, whatever it is that you're like syncing with your like moon time as well. And it's okay, like, so this again, it's okay to like save your like blood, people, like you know, just make sure you do it properly, because yeah, definitely you don't want to I shouldn't probably share too much about this information, but that stuff does go bad and like that's gross. But you know, where do we keep these things? Like they keep, when you go donate blood, they keep it in the fridge, it stay as long as it's cold and properly secured. But to me, that's like what a good modern witch does, whether you identify as a witch, a magical person. You know, oh, Native South American. Okay, interesting. Okay, that probably makes sense then, because you know, again, like the Toltec energy. Um, what else yeah, there's something like very high, like ancestral. You might even want, if you have other ways in which you work with your ancestors, like obviously draw those in as well. But I'm like seeing you like imagining yourself around those stars. Like I mentioned the concept of, in the first card Deb got pulled for her was the Hunab Ku kind of concept of like the cosmic connection to our ancestral line, our the place where we've all been birthed. And so I'm seeing you kind of in the galaxy itself with these stars, the star beings. Maybe that's even a place where you feel more connected, but it's definitely tied to an ancestral place. We have card for or number 15, which would be the Emperor card. Or 1 and 5 is 6. So we have the sphere of Tiferet, so beauty in that center solar heart space as well. I don't know, I'm just saying these words. Maybe there's something there for you. But if we, again, fire, we have the sun fire, right? Which is ruled by Leo. And we have Aries with the cardinal fire sign with the Emperor card. Okay, I'm just going by what the Emperor card is key 4 on the Tree of Life, or key 4 in the tarot, but on the Tree of Life, it's path 15, because you just add 11 to 4 to get that. So I'm just, whatever that is, those might be some things for you to explore. You might want to go and watch the tarot live that we did on the Emperor 2 weeks ago. That might be worth, it's long, but it might be worth checking out too. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about that. Piano, thank you for being here. Okay, let me go up. It's sacred. Oh, the moon, yeah. Moon time. Hello from Central New Jersey. Is that, sorry, that was maybe not appropriate. Rogue reemerged. Cool. Okay, we'll pull you a card too, Rogue. I have Tahira first. No, Rogue, we have not gotten to you yet. But I will pull you a card after Tahira gets a card. And Tahira, I can't recall if you told me where you would like a card from. So I'm just going to pull from the deck in my hand, if that's okay. Yeah, thanks for being here, Piano. I'm like, I feel like I recall you being here in the past, long time ago. I feel like I recall the name, so thanks for being here. Okay, Tahira. Yeah, hope all's well with you. I was going to send you an email. See where things are at. Okay, let's see. I was in the jungle. Oh, you changed your username. Oh, okay. Cool. Ooh. Okay, Tahira. Well, you got 2, but I'm just gonna, because that's interesting. So Tahira, yeah, I'm sure you've had a lot of change. That's it. Okay. Well, I just want, like, we're doing 1 card, but I just want to say that it was 1, but it was backed by the shadow card. Okay. So, like, I feel like there's like a big shadow energy possibly right now. And it maybe feels like these rough seas. It's when is it? Stormy. So yeah, it might seem really stormy. It might seem kind of like overwhelming right now to hear, and I feel like it's because there's like a shadow aspect that might be wanting your attention. Literally like this monster like um just doing some math, 64. So we get 64 when we add 21 and 43, which reduces down to 10. If we do like the whole, because we get 21 plus 43 is 64. 6 plus 4 gives us 10. But we could also take 10 and represent it as the bottom sphere of Malkut, which is also a 1, because 1 plus 0, right? Which is 1, which is Keter, the top sphere. So Malkut and Keter, the earth and the crown, are technically the same sphere. It's like the continuation of it, if that makes sense. Why was I saying that? I think the reason I was saying that is because, you know, it comes down to that whole idea of like breaking down is like the breakthrough. The things that seem to be really difficult, the things that seem to be like, oh my God, I can't get the break. It's all like, because it's happening for a particular reason, to teach us something. Last week, my car like died. Well, I guess almost 2 weeks now. Just, you know, I was going to that nurse's retreat. Literally, as I went to help pick people up to bring them to the space where we were going to be at for the weekend, my car dies. I had to have it boosted twice over the weekend so that I could like get back home. And then it got to the point where I had to like rely on other people to get to and from places, to help with my kid. There was like so much stuff going on. I was so stressed last week. Like I can't even explain the degree of like tension that was going on in my body. And what was underneath all of it through that storm was the like, for me, it was the feeling of like, oh my God, like I have this intense, and I know this about me, but like it was just like right in my face so much. The shadow part, monster part, was the need for the control. And it was like a horrible experience. Like really, truly, I was like, oh my God, I think I might die in this. But like this week, I'm like, wow. Well, I would say on the weekend, like things started shifting where I'm like, I just feel this totally new level of like trust. I can't explain it. Like my body just, and you know, I did go for a massage, which is interesting. I'm like, maybe like that also helps. So if there's something you can do about your physical body, it's like this is deeper because, you know, if I see this card, I'm thinking of Bina, I'm thinking of the mother, which is the great sea. And she is that third sphere in which things are formed. And then it comes into physical reality. So I feel like here for you, something that might be supportive to hear if you can, get a massage. Go and do something for your physical body. If it's like working out, a really intense workout, so that then you can like have your body relax. There's something that's going to like move through from your cells, from the energetics in your like somatic being and deeper, so that then you can have this like transmutational energy. But it's like happening for a reason. And I'm like feeling a lot in my feet right now, which is weird. It's like feels like heavy, almost like stuck. So if you're feeling that, whatever that might be, angels, we just call to you to like support with clearing any of that, releasing any of like, I want to say like a cemented feeling to hear of like not being able to like physically move your feet, which is interesting that there's like a Malkuth energy there. Okay. I'll email it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. A lot going on with my ex, my son. I got approved to keep my house. I'm sorry it happened. Definitely understand the feeling. Yeah, that's a great, thank you. Yeah, that's a great idea. I have a workout lined up for my lunch hour. Yeah, and I want to like, you know, Yeah, working out's great. I think though too, like I mentioned, there's something about trusting and putting our needs into another person's hands. So, um, whatever that might mean for you to hear. Like, can you allow yourself to be cared for by someone else too? Because sometimes I think, especially as women, we're so used to doing it ourselves. And, what happened for me is like, I was like, ugh, well, should I ask my partner for a massage? Like, I know he'd do it, but I was like, oh, but I should like go see someone. And I was like, oh, do I want to like spend the money on that right now? We're moving. There's so many things happening. And then an idea just hit me. It's like, oh, why don't you ask so and so? And you guys can swap. Like it was like a weird, like it was just weird the circumstances around how everything worked. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm supposed to tell you that. My stress response is running. So it's interesting about being cemented. I'm trying to allow myself to be cared for, hyper independent. Yeah. Oh, our society. We are, as women, oftentimes told to do that. But this will soon pass. Be willing to recognize that shadow, and maybe it is that hyper independence. It's not a bad thing. It's gotten you where you want to be, and so to speak, or where you've been. But now it's like, what is the other side of that coin? Right? Because it's got two sides. So, anyways, appreciate you being here, Tahira. Nice hearing from you. Okay, I think we had Rogue reemerge next. And Rogue reemerge, if you have a preference. Oh, you said the sacred symbols. Yes. Okay, thank you. If anyone else watching would like a card pulled, feel free to let me know. I also want to just speak here, little ad placement. I do have my new book coming out this Friday, the first. Well, actually, it comes out on the 31st. It comes out tomorrow. But on the 1st November, I'm going to be pulling a name for the giveaway contest. So if you are interested in winning a copy of the book is the 72 Names of God, a magical grimoire. It is a collection of insights and information on how to work with the 72 names of God, also known as the Shem HaMephorash in the Kabbalistic tradition. And it's, been pretty much like 5 years of my studying, practicing, really diving into those names, into what I would term like the aspects of God. And I feel like it's just time to put that out there. I've been feeling a little bit like, oh, who am I to do this? But it has really just shifted my life, connecting to the Godhead, connecting to these aspects of the divine in this particular way. And it's a practical guide that gives you the tools on what each of the names may represent, right? Because it's also a personal experience. And then how you can tap into that. And what are the different correspondences, we call them magical correspondences, the similarities of what the names mean as tied to the tarot keys, as tied to the zodiacal kind of aspects within astrology, and so many other things. And it's just meant to support you with shifting. You use these names to create the movement, to break through the blocks, to create lasting change in your life where you feel connected to the divinity. And I don't know, man, it's been life-changing for me. So on Friday, if you sign up before Friday, your name will be entered into the draw to win a copy of the book. Whether it's going to be a digital or print copy just kind of depends where you live in the world, because I can't ship everywhere, unfortunately. And you'll also win a soul alchemy session with me. It's like a one-on-one guided session. So if you want to do that, head over to the link. I think it's down in the description. And it's on my website. You can sign up there. Okay, Rogue, and reemerged. Oh, all of a sudden I'm feeling like I need to eat something. Like I might get sick, which is weird. Interesting. Okay, help me get here, but I want to be taken care of. Yeah, you deserve to be taken care of, Tahira. And thanks for the congratulations. Riano, thank you. That's old and powerful stuff. Yeah, it's definitely, Okay, interesting. Well, we got 2 cards for you too. This is what happens. I say one card, and then Spirit's like, mm. Okay, but I'm gonna keep it because the same thing like with Tahira. So Rogue reemerged. You have the transformation card, and you have it backed by the new moon. Okay, so we have the new moon coming up. What, tomorrow and slash Friday? I have it as November 1st. So there's something really like anticipatory I'm feeling, and you might be feeling like physically sick, um like if it's a stomach, like a GI thing, or like ooh, like because I'm feeling like a nauseated energy. um this is not at all in the same capacity, but I just want to speak to, sometimes I'll like watch people who talk about things like the Cliffoth or Goetic demons, like the Goetic spirits. Some people who we could identify more in like the left hand path. So there's like the right hand path, which is the pillar of mercy. And there's the left hand path, which would be seen as the pillar of severity. That's how my mind. So, but in our Western world, we said it's like, oh, you're either like in the light or you're in the dark. You're like Satanist, da da da, whatever. So that's up to you for your interpretation. But the reason I'm saying that is like sometimes when I watch certain people, their energy is like so intense that I actually feel physically sick. Like I can't explain what I'll be like, ugh, like I get like overwhelmed with the energy, and I have to like stop it, come back to it later or whatever. And some people would say, well, that's because it's not good for you or whatever. But I'm like, no, I think it's just if I'm not used to particular energy, and some people are vibrating at a different energy. It's like small doses. So whatever that might mean for you, Rogue reemerge, it's like you might, if you've gone through a spiritual awakening or spiritual emergence, spiritual emergency. I can tell you when I went through my experience, it was like some days it was just so overwhelming. I couldn't, I'm like, I just want to like be in bed and just close off to the world. Like I can't, yeah, if you've experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise it's overwhelming, but that's part of this transformative energy. And it probably doesn't help that we have the new moon. I think it's a new moon. It's not in Scorpio. Oh, I wrote it in there. I don't even remember now. Is it Virgo? Um, I think, or Libra. Oh, whatever it is. Someone knows. You can let me know. But we have this like new moon. We are in Scorpio season, though. That's kind of why I wanted to say that. And that's all about transformation in itself, right? The scorpion being that like transformative, shifting energy, the death kind of energy, so that something new can come through. And possibly for you right now, Rogue reemerged. You're in this, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're uncomfortable, possibly, whatever that might mean. It's because of this like double new birthing experience that you're going through. So what's our number here? I'm just going to pretend this is 20, and I'm going to add it to 45. So then we get 65, which is 64. Okay, so you have that number 10 as well, which we could say, like I said, is Keter with a 1 or Malkut with a 10. And I'll just add to that, when we're going through the evolution, so to speak, it's like humanity starting at the 10. That's how I would identify it, at the bottom of the tree, moving up to the crown, right? And then that crown at the top just becomes the next tree of life. And this is where we get the idea of Jacob's ladder. It's just like a continuation up, up, up. So like the bottom is the top is the bottom, whatever it needs to be. It is a new moon in Scorpio. Okay, thank you, Tahira. See, sometimes I don't know things. That's funny, hey? My mom would be like, you don't know everything. It's true, I don't know everything. Okay, interesting. So thank you. It is a new moon in Scorpio. So we have that dual energy. I just love the image of this card too. So whatever that means for you, Rogue reemerged. It's almost like you could like go into Love how they have the aura of the moon around it. Like there's still, because isn't it technically, well, I know the sun's not behind the moon in the daytime, but you know what I mean? Like we can't see the moon because it's like on the side of the sun. There's something about the joining of those two. Um, and it's okay to be then, what I want to say with this is it's okay to be in like reclusiveness, to draw yourself closer to the divine, which is the sun inside of you, and not letting the people see the reflection, you as the moon. Even, does that make sense? Like we don't see the moon during the new moon, like, and that's okay. We don't judge the moon for it. The moon's going through its own process of existence. So I feel like that's something for you, Rogue reemerged, and just breathing in whatever that might be. You have interesting energy. That's all I really need to say about that. So thanks for being here and sharing that with us. Okay, if anyone else would like a card, we've been on here for almost an hour. That's definitely, yeah, this is fun. I appreciate you all being here, because we might pull one last card to kind of end and take us all off as we close. But I came on here, like I said, it was sparked from this place of just wanting to share with you all, and the recognition that as we go through this life, we're all being called to explore and share and be ourselves, because it's evolving humanity. It's evolving all of the collective self and the individual self. Yeah, I miss you, Tahira. Maybe we'll see you on Friday, please. I think, well, yeah, so today at 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time is the tarot key exploration of the Lovers. You can catch the recording if you can't make it live. And then on Friday, I think at 4 or 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, we'll be doing the new moon collective reading and personal card readings for the month of the new moon, which is, I guess, in Scorpio. Like here. Did I put Scorpio in my description? Oh, God, I can't even remember that. But that'll be where we usually check in, do a bit of stuff around what that looks like for the next month, the next 4 weeks, right, of this new moon period. So much is happening. So anyways, okay, let's pull one of these cards for everyone as we close. Ooh, yay, Tahira. Yeah, I hope to see you there. So many things shifting, man. Constantly. What did I find out the other day in my birth chart? Pluto in the first house. And it was like, that's why you like transformation. I was like, oh, I thought it was just because I was Scorpio. So it's like, oh my God, it's like a double fucking thing. What is this? Earth. What number is this? 11. So path 11 on the tree, we have 10, which is Malkut, and then we have 11. So we go through the spheres, and then we go to the path. So the path 11 connects Keter at the top down to Chokmah, the sphere of wisdom. And that is the Fool card. And if you envision the Fool card is the card with the jester man walking and just like no care in the world, looking up, and he's about to step, it appears, looks like he's about to step off a cliff because he's just busy looking at the sun, gazing off, kind of in a cheery, like, just like free mode. And I'm seeing with this image right now, the symbol of Earth, this elemental symbol, is how it's almost like an iceberg upside down. If you were to turn, okay, let me go like this. If we were to turn this would be an iceberg, right? You'd have like the tip, which is the primary point that we see above water, but it's not the majority of the actual substance or mass of the iceberg, right? Most of it's down beneath the water, if you've ever seen those really cool images. But I'm kind of seeing it here as like a reverse. And, if we think about the Fool card, and maybe this is tied to what I was sharing at the beginning again. I mean, I'm making the connections in my awareness right now, is that concept that, like, to take the fool's journey, to take the steps into the unknown, right? Things have to get like stirred up and opposite. There's like a bit of like a confusion. And I'm sure that's even what Keter, if I could say this, like, I don't think it's really how spirit would feel, but like for Keter to want to bring the or not tangible energy into the beginning place of where it was going to start to form into more tangible. There, it, you know, like, it would almost be like if, you know, we could say that there's like the Godhead, that, you know, there's these energies above that everything has come from and was birthed, and then that came like into the Godhead of spirit that we might identify as God, was like, you know, the he or she, depending on your view. But it's like, how did those parents above think of that Godhead that was like, yeah, I want to start like, I want to take the plunge and like create like humanity in this way. Like, do you know what I mean? It would be like, well, why would you want to do that? It's like, well, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to trust that there's something. And this, to me, if that makes any sense at all, to me, this is just what the fool path is. It's like, you don't know what it's going to look like. You're taking a leap off the edge. You're trusting and plummeting to earth. You're mixing up the view of what we're familiar with in reality, like iceberg is like this versus iceberg like this, which would be like gravitationally not possible if you think from like a physics stance, right? The heavier weight would just have to go like this. But with the Fool card, it's almost like anything and everything can exist. And we see that in the path of 11, where from Keter to Chokmah, things where we maybe didn't think possible, it's like all of a sudden we're shown that anything and everything is possible if we can be that Fool energy. So take the leap of faith as best as you can today. Take the messages that showed up for you personally, or even if you didn't ask for a card pull, just trust if something resonated with you that it was meant for you. If you'd like to join in again, we'll be going live today. There'll be videos coming out this week. We'll be joining live again on Friday for more card pulls and tapping into the new moon energy. And I'll be pulling a name for the giveaway for the book, for the Soul Alchemy session. So be sure to check that out in the description below. You can sign up on my website. But yeah, if you appreciated this, if found value, be sure to share it, like it, subscribe. If you'd like to donate, I'm always open to that. You can also join the membership portal. And yeah, there's fun things that I talk about there that I don't share out to everyone in the public forum, just because, yeah, there's some things that are held sacred in different ways. But yeah, I appreciate you all being here. And Viano says, I'm definitely training in the old ways. This knowledge is really awakening the ancients. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Oh, we're bringing forth things that we've known before, however way it is meant to be. So that's cool to hear, Viano. Thanks for being here. And yeah, let's hope to see you all Friday or later today. And until then, have a great day.